Hey everybody, happy Friday. It's an exercise lounge. Super excited to be here today. Again, every Friday I get to spend this with you to kind of go over whatever you have going on your world. So, just to let you know, I am streaming on YouTube and Facebook Live at the same time. So, feel free to, if you want to interact with me, jump on Facebook. If you wanted to interact with me on YouTube, we kind of have to set that up ahead of time. But you can jump on Facebook and interact with me at any point because this is an open forum. I'm just going to give you what's on my mind currently. And then, of course, you can add, you can contradict me, you can add your 2 cents, your own experience, or whatever. That's totally acceptable. And then we open it up for Q&A. So if you have any questions about your health and fitness, I'll open up a space for you so that you can ask your question and I will answer them as best as I possibly can. And if I cannot answer them, I will go out to our network and figure out how to get you that answer. And then we'll do a little community news. How's that sound? Sound pretty good? All right, so let's get started. What's been on my mind? Recently, or last week actually, I was talking about how we need to have these open and closed doors, right? And how it's important that these belief systems come into play. But there's another thing that we need to take in consideration when it comes to losing weight is, well, I think it's better if I just tell you the story. So a long time ago, it feels like a long time ago, it probably was, I applied for a job. And when I went into the interview, unfortunately, I felt it was a phone interview nonetheless. And as soon as I talked, maybe like 1 minute into it, maybe two, the person that I was interviewing with, like, pretty much made me look very small, made me feel very small, and pretty much said that I wasn't fit for the position. And I worked really hard for this company, and I felt like I was worthy of that position because I was doing a lot of the work that needed to get done. And so, because I was trying to take on those responsibilities. So I finally did that. I applied for it, and man, was I slammed. I ended up leaving that interview feeling like I will never, ever, 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 ever again apply for that position. I even thought about whether or not I should stay with the company. I felt that bad. Um, but at the same time, I had this self awareness that was starting to click for me, and something wasn't right, and I needed to figure out what that was. And so, what I ended up doing was taking a lot of Tony Robbins programs. I stumbled across something in a bookstore. I think it was his unabridged version of Awakening the Giant Within. And this was the first self help thing I really did. And so I started reading that and I loved what he had to say. So I started diving into a lot of his programs, bought almost everything I could get my hands on that he had out there. And I spent a lot of money actually. But fast forward 4 years after that interview, the job reopened, and the person that interviewed with me was no longer in the position to actually do the interview. So I said, okay, I'm in a different spot, mindset and everything. And so I decided I was going to try for the spot again, even though I told myself I wasn't going to. I was just a different person. So I went to the interview with the person that was going to manage me, and I saw some cues there actually as he was talking to me. And I said to myself, he doesn't even have me in contention. So I did something where I looked at him in his eyes, like I got his attention, looked at him in his eyes, and told him, look, if you hire me, I will make sure you never regret that. I will make this department the best it's ever been. Okay. So that worked. He accepted me to move over to the next stage, which happened to be, boom, the same person that I interviewed years earlier. And I thought to myself, wait a second, wait, what? Like, how is this even possible? Like, no, like, I was just in complete, utter shock. But I pulled myself together and I said, well, I'm in it now. Like, I have to go to the interview. It would be super not cool if I did not show up to this interview now. But I pulled it together, reframed my mind, and I got ready for the interview using the tactics that I learned from Tony Robbins. And then I get to the interview. 5 minutes before the interview actually started, I went to the bathroom, made sure nobody was in there. That was important because what I was about to do next would probably freak anybody else, and hopefully nobody was going to walk into the bathroom. So I go into the bathroom, nobody's around, and I look in the mirror, and with a serious face, I go, "You got this. Yes, yes, you're awesome. You got this. Yes, yes, yes. You got this. You're amazing. You own this job. This is yours for the taking." And as I did that about 7 times, and as I looked in the mirror, oh my gosh, my whole face turned red. Like it was like tomato. I looked like a tomato. And that's not good. So I needed to lower down my level there for a moment because I did not want to go out to the interview looking red and fully revved up. So I calmed myself down. I lowered my level of state by a little bit, and I went into the interview. What happened? Come out of the interview with the same person. This person looked at me and said, "You know what? This was one of the best interviews I've ever been in my life." What? Like what? Rewind 4 years earlier, like I wasn't fit for the job, like I felt belittled. And here, now I am 4 years later, this same individual whom I feared to do this with is now saying this was one of the best interviews they've ever had. How does that happen? And I'm telling you, this does relate with weight loss. But how does that happen? It's all because of state management. I managed my state. I put myself in a state where I was in full control, full ready for this interview. Like I prepared for it. I did a lot of exercises mentally. And when I got there to the day, I managed my state, which was super important because that was the deciding factor, in my opinion, based on what happened, because that was the moment that things happened. Like all this stuff was prep work and was important, but what I did in that moment of time was manage my state, which changed everything, which gave me the confidence, and that's what this person was looking for. I bet you when I was on that phone, I was probably like a little nervous, picked up the phone. I mean, it didn't help that I couldn't see the person's body language, but here I was able to see it. I was able to interact. I knew the questions, the doubts, the concerns that were going to come up. And so I got myself into a state. So when the questions came, I still wasn't timid. I wasn't hesitating. I was controlled. I was confident and controlled. And that was the big difference. So how does this help you on losing weight? Where's the 5 steps, Angelo? Well, it's pretty, it is simple actually. But I want to talk about state real quick. State is super important. I talk about it in health and fitness, but it's super important anywhere. It doesn't matter if we're talking about health and fitness or we're talking about relationships, we're talking about business, whatever it is, state management is important because the state you're in controls your destiny. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that when you get into state, you resonate at a certain level, and that level is going to dictate exactly what you're going to say or do. If I went into the interview all like hunched over, like this and kind of talking a little low and a little, not looking at the person, that doesn't exude confidence, right? That does not show that you're ready for something. And when I start talking, am I gonna say different things? Most likely, right? I'm gonna be more of a passive. So when the questions come in, I'm going to act differently because I'm in a different state, and I'm probably going to say things differently because I'm in a different state. Whereas if I'm like this, energetic, ready to go, the questions come, I know they're coming, I answer them with confidence, boom. I could have known the answers and already prepared, but if I went in there like all timid and everything, forget it. I would have lost. I would not have gotten the position compared to probably the other people that showed up. So state management is important because it will set you up for success. Now, it doesn't set you up for 100% success, but it sets you up, in my experience. This is just my experience. Others may have different ratios, but 100% of the time, if I'm in a low state, I'm going to make low actions or low choices. If I'm in a high energetic state, controlled state, I'm going to make the choices that I want to make more often, the successful choices, right? Or at least when I make a choice, I'm going to be very confident about the choice. It may not be the right choice, but I'm going to make a choice and be confident about it. And there is failure in there. Just because you're in state does not mean you're going to succeed, that you're going to make the right choice, but you're going to make a choice and you're going to be confident about it. And that's what we need in our health and fitness, right? We need to make sure that we're taking action. We need to know that we're making the right choices, because what happens for most of us is when we fall off, right? Like, we all know what we need to do, right? We know that we have to go out there and exercise. We know we have to make good, healthy choices, but we don't do it. Or if we do, we fall off the wagon. Or once you know what I'm talking about, your life changes, right? And so it's very important that we manage state, because once we're in a state of choice, of decision, then those things happen. Think about it like this. If you can rewind back to a point where you didn't want to work out, maybe it was raining, I bet you this was something how it went. If you could take a video camera and record yourself, you were probably like this, hunched over a little bit. You're probably talking to yourself, and you're probably having a conversation like this. Do I really want to wake up? Do I really want to go out there and exercise? It's raining. I'm going to get wet. It's going to be uncomfortable. My clothes are going to be wet. I'm going to go out there and I'm tired. It's been a long day. Do you see how I'm talking? Now, when you put yourself in a state of confidence and control, up, ready to go, energy going, you're like, oh, it's raining. Guess what? Today is a day I get to go have fun in the rain. Or I'm not going to let that rain, I'm going to let water dictate my life. I'm going to let water decide if I'm not going to go walk or run. Who am I? That's a different, and then you make a decision, right? I make a decision. Which decision I'm probably going to make if I'm like this? Probably I'm not going to work out. When I'm like this, I'm probably going to work out, right? So state management is super, super important in everything. I cannot stress it enough. So why do I call this 5 steps to lose weight? Because what we want to do is do the 5 steps that I learned in order to get into state so that we can make the decisions that we're supposed to. We're going to make the right decision about whether we should eat cake or ice cream, or if we're going to go exercise or not. And if you get into state, most likely 99% of the time, maybe even 90% of the time, and that's even a good percentage, you're going to make the decision that you want to if you're in state. And once you get out of state, then you need to get yourself back into state. And when you start seeing these cues that I'm going to give you, these 5 steps, you're going to see that you're probably off one of them. And that's why you're hemming and hawing. When you're in a state of decision and it's prolonging, it's because you're not in the proper state. You're in a state of indecision. And you either got to get into the state of decision. And so how do we do that? There's 5 steps to it. The first step is to visualize. Now, what I want you to do is, if you can go back in time to a time where you didn't want to make the right choice, or you were hesitating to make the right choice, whether it be to eat something or not eat something, or to exercise or not to exercise. I want you to find that moment. And then I want you to find the moment when you made the choice to actually do it, right? You went from indecision to decision. and you decided that you were going to do it, because that's what we want. We want to simulate that situation that we made the choices that we want to be doing on a more regular basis. So if we can figure out that, go back in time and visualize that time, I want you to bring that image to you. Like, I want you to envision that moment in time. Now, if you don't have that moment in time, you've been weak this whole time, or you've never been in that scenario, that's okay. What I want you to do is envision as if, right? I want you to envision as if you are in that time frame, and you're about to make the proper decision. I want you to visualize what you would look like. And if you have a hard time doing that, then I want you to pick somebody who you think would make that right decision. And I want you to envision them in that situation and bring them to your mind. And it's important because that's step one. Step two is we want to make sure that we look at that person's posture. Are they like this? Are they like this? Are they, droopy? Or are they like this? Are their shoulders back? Are their head up higher? Are they in a pose like this or a pose like this? Like, what are they doing as they're standing there about to make a decision, right? And then I want you to visualize what that is. And now, because you know what position they're in, stance-wise, their body language, I want you to get into that same position. It could be anything for you. It could be like, Superman, whatever, Forbes magazine or something like that. Whatever a strong person looks like to you that's going to be confident and make a choice. By visualizing and getting into state, actually visualizing may already get you into state. By going to step two and putting your body into that position, you're probably going to start feeling more confident. It's just the way it works. We start inside and we work our way out, right? And so this is why we start with visualization. Usually what happens internally, translate by visualizing, you probably will already see that you're in state or gradually getting into state. When we change our body, now we're probably doing something different, which is breathing differently. But if not, I want you to envision what that person is doing. How are they breathing? How are they breathing? Are they breathing, and this is step three, are they breathing like really fast, like they're hyperventilating? Or are they breathing really slow and shallow, like they're on their way to death? Or are they like energetic, like full breath in, like they're probably breathing normal, but it's probably more powerful. Like they're not too weak, but they're not too strong. They're right there, right? Just like, yeah, I got this, type of thing. And maybe they're bobbing their head like, yeah, I got this. Like, what's there even to think about? Like, this is a no-brainer, right? You see how step four is to talk. Like, you see how I'm already like moving my body. Everything is trying to match up. Your brain is trying to match everything up. To the visual, to your body, to your breathing, to your words. So step four is your words. How are you talking? Are you questioning yourself? There's a difference between, okay, look, it's raining outside, and I want to make sure that I'm running or I'm not going to run today. I have to make a choice. So I'm going to make a choice. Let's look at the facts. I worked out really hard yesterday. One day is not really going to hurt me, and I need a recovery day anyways. And, whatever, like you come up with a conversation and you say, okay, I'm exercising today. Or you know what? No, I'm not exercising today. We want to make sure that we're doing the yes. Like we want the one that is going, so we're going to say, yes, we're exercising today. Like, what do you need to say to yourself? What is that envisioning person saying to themselves to get themselves to go take the right action, right? They're probably saying, you know what, rain, I got this. I'm going to go have fun. I'm going to feel so much better when I go out there, and I'll regret it if I don't go out there. And I'll be mentally stronger because I went out there and did that. So guess what? I'm going to go run, right? I've been eating healthy for the last month. And so this one day of eating cake and ice cream is not going to break me. So I'm going to have it. I'm going to have it. And then end of story. You don't think about it later. You just do it. Or, you know what? I've been eating pretty bad this week. So I'm going to hesitate and resist. Not hesitate, but I'm going to not eat that ice cream and cake. right? So you're just confidently saying, here's the facts, here's what I'm going to do, and then you go do it. And then you don't talk about it. Now, you know if you've done it right because at the end, you'll either have done the action that you wanted to do, and even if you didn't do the action that you wanted to do, you will still feel okay. When you are in a low state, you are going to be, you're going to hem and haw. You're probably not going to make the decision that you want to make. And then guess what? After, you're going to hem and haw, regret it, beat yourself up. Whereas in where you're confident, ready, full of energy, and you made a decision in a higher state, you will not be residually thinking about that thing. You made your decision, you moved on. You got other things to deal with because you're in a state of confidence and control. This one, like these 4 steps are amazing. They're going to change your life. But there's one other step. Step number 5. Remember I was talking about when I was in the bathroom for that interview? And I was saying I was like going like this, like, yes, you're awesome, you're the best. That's called a power move. That's step number 5. Have a power move. Power moves are so amazing because they boost your energy with very little effort. Like they get you fired up, but you got to find what your power move is. So mine happens to be holding my hand, my left hand, and taking my right hand and smacking it into my left hand, and then saying yes, yes, and then saying some affirmative language. It's just usually is yes, you got this. That's usually my power move. And then what you want to do with the power move is you want to get into it physically. That's why I got the power here. You want to get into it. I even put the face into it. And then you want to say it, like you want to say something and make it audio, like yes. And then you want to emotionally feel it. Like you should feel your body going into it and put your all into whatever your power move is. Now, you can have any power move. Yours could be hitting your fist. Yours could be a clap. It could be, clenching your fist. I don't know, getting into this and saying yes. It could be like pumping your fist. Whatever it is, you get to decide what your power move is. And once you do that with the other 4 steps, so the 4 steps is visualize, get into posture, breathe, start talking to yourself, and now do a power move. Do those 5 steps, and I can guarantee 99%, maybe even 90%, I'll even take 80% of the time. If you make the right decision, that's better than what you were doing before. And when you do that, you're going to I get addicted to power moves. I get addicted to state because once I know if I can catch myself, sometimes I'm not perfect. I'm not going to say I'm perfect. Sometimes I don't get into the right state and the state just blows me over, especially when it comes to dealing with my kids or relationships. Sometimes I get so heated in a moment that I should be stepping back, managing my state, but I get swept into it that I can't manage my state. And then usually relationships start, little tears start happening, right? And then you have to work at mending them because we get into arguments. It's just part of life. And this is why state is so like you got to get that power. The power move needs to be emotional because that's what we all know is when we get swept away is when we get emotional into it, right? Then things start breaking down. It's harder to manage state, but if you can get in front of it and do a power move and get emotion into it, boom, you can raise yourself up, and it's amazing what state can do, because it goes beyond just what it can do for yourself. But one other thing I want to mention about state management is that you have to have different power levels, right? Like I can't go into a birthday party or a function hall that I'm not expecting, or like go out with friends to a restaurant and then sit down and because it was a surprise one, like we're just said, somebody called me up and said, hey, you want to come hang out? I do. We go to a restaurant and now I'm not prepared because I was going to eat something and now I'm going to eat something different. And I'm not going to stand there and be like, yes, I got this, right? That would just not be right. I mean, if that's your personality, wonderful. And then nobody will recognize the difference and you should do that. But for most of us, that's not going to fly in a restaurant. People are going to look at us like we're weird. We may lose a few friends at the same time. So you got to choose different ones, different states, or different power moves in order to get into the state that you want. So for me, at like functions, I don't do this and go, yes, yes, I'm awesome. Instead, at birthdays or whatever, at functions where I'm sideswiped, because usually I make decisions earlier before I show up, I will clench my fist and say yes, like yes, internally, like yes, you got this. Yes, you got this. Usually my hands are down by my side, and then I'll just squeeze them and say, yes, you got this. And which is good because I don't need that power. Like, I don't need to come in like all power to make a decision over whether I'm going to eat cake or ice cream, right? I don't need that. I actually just need a little pump me up to be like, okay, you got this. Make a choice, right? You got to get into decision mode. What are you going to do? What's the facts? Boom. Okay, what are you going to do? Boom, done, over, move on, have fun with your friends, right? And by doing this over and over again, you're going to make the right decisions most of the time. And that's what you need to do most of the time. Now, why is this so powerful too? Oh, actually, but because of the power, we have to think about like Superman or whoever your favorite superhero is, right? They have different levels of power. When Superman is Clark Kent, he's like mumbling, kind of goofy. He's got the glasses. He pushes up the glasses and talks a little hesitant, like he's not confident. But we all know as Superman, like when he comes out to be Superman, man, his whole state changes, right? He's powerful, he's confident, he's in control, and he's very ready to go, right? That's Superman but Clark Kent. And it's funny because a lot of people say like, how do people not recognize with that Clark Kent is Superman? Like he's putting on the glasses. That's all his disguise is. No, no. It goes way beyond that. State management can literally change who you look like to people. And that's why Clark Kent is his disguise is beautiful. It's not he's disguised because he wears glasses. That's part of it. But people see him differently. Like he is literally a different person when he's in front of them because of his state, because of the way he makes his mannerisms. He puts himself in a state of a lower stature, right? And so when people see him, they're like, that's no way that's Superman. Like Superman, Clark Kent, totally different states, can't be the same person. So when they see him because of his state, he's literally a different person. It's not just the glasses. It's his whole personality is just so different because of his state management. And how does this work in real life, right? Well, at functions, it's really amazing now. Now that I've been on this journey for quite some time and I get to go to these functions, when I used to go to these functions, I used to be Clark Kent at functions. And you're probably that same way, whoever your superhero is. I would go there and people would talk. Inevitably, with food there, we would talk about food or exercise, right? And when people talk, the conversation would go something like this. Yeah, all this food is really good. And I think today I'm not sure that I really should be doing this, but I'm going to be eating a few chips today, not a lot, because I've been doing really well. And so today, but then tomorrow I'm going to get right back on track, right? And then my conversation would be with that person was like, yeah, I totally understand. Like, yeah, that's great that you've been on this trying to do well. That's really good. And yeah, let's all be in cahoots. Like we're trying to justify with each other and lift each other up to say, yes, this is why we should eat the ice cream, or the potato chips, even though we don't want to, right? We're feeling guilty. We're feeling regretful, even though we haven't even done anything yet. We're feeling regretful. Now in my current being, in my current journey, going in to manage my state, I am Superman now. And not like I'm high and mighty or whatever. Like my state has changed. I'm more confident when I go to that table. And when the conversation starts, which it inevitably does, um, it's very interesting now because the conversation will start that way, and then I will show them like with confidence, not hesitant like I used to be. I would say, yeah, I'm gonna eat these chips too. Actually, I've been pretty good over the last I don't know, month or two, or even last week, and so I'm gonna have these chips, and then yeah, I'm just gonna go on and eat probably the ice cream as well, and then I'll get back on track, or not even get back on track. Like I'm just gonna eat these chips. Maybe I'll even said that. Maybe I'll say I'll get back on track, um, and then because I'm confident. Here's the important part. Because I'm confident and I'm saying like, yeah, I'm gonna eat those chips. I'm not that. I'm not at the same energy level as that other person. I'm at a higher energy level because of my state management and my confidence. I'm aligning with them, saying, yeah, I'm gonna eat these chips, but I have a different aura around me now compared to who I used to be. And it's a confident one. And people love confidence, right? They love energy, they love confidence. We're attracted to that. So when I say things now like that in front of people, they're like, whoa, not like, whoa. In their mind, they're like, what just happened? Like, there's something different here. I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's something different, and I'm liking whatever this something different is. And what they like is my confidence in my um, control in that situation, that I'm so confident. And then they see me as a different person, right? They look at me and they're like, oh, have you, they'll start asking questions. Have you been exercising or something like that? Or are you on a diet? I'm like, no, I'm not on a diet. I just make, better choices overall. And so when I go to a birthday party, I don't feel like guilty that I'm eating these chips. Um, and and then they're like, whoa, and then they say, yeah, I can see that you've been exercising or whatever, but they're like, the conversation has changed. From before, we're trying to cahoot with each other and justifying why we should be eating these chips, to a conversation as to, whoa, what's going on? Like, they want to figure it out. And then I give them a piece of information, just a small piece. I'll just say, yeah, like, I've been eating less ice cream this year. That's my decision going forward. I'm gonna eat less ice cream, and instead of having 5 scoops, I'm having 2 scoops, and I'm seeing a little change in myself just by doing that. Whoa! You know what that just did? They they see that that's manageable, right? 1 or 2 scoops less, and he's over here eating this ice cream or eating the potato chips, and yet he's looking good. um, you start messing with people's heads in a good way. And they're like, well, I can do that, right? Like, oh, just that one little change. And I'll say, yeah, instead of eating like, a half a bag of chips, I'm going to take what the serving, I'll pull out the bag and say, the serving size is 12. I'll probably eat up to 12 chips. Boom, they could do that. I said, and then I actually, for me, I'll say, oh, it's 12 chips. I'll probably only end up eating 6, because after that I don't taste, like, I stop having the taste of the chips. Like, they don't taste the same way. The savory flavor that I've been trying to go after is just mental, and after 6 chips that goes away for me typically. And so I'll say that. So I'll pull 12 chips, but I'll probably end up only having 6, and that's that. And then they're like, whoa, I can do that. like like you're giving them little tips of what you're going to do, and showing them how simple these little things are. And with that confidence and that control, boom, you are now changing someone's life. You look like a different person to them. It's like Clark Kent to Superman, as I was saying earlier. Like, you are two different people, same function, same scenario, but you are different. You look different, you behave different, so they're attracted to that. Now they're going to start listening. And now you go from controlling yourself to now influencing others, because then they're going to be attracted to more of what you've got. What's this wisdom that you've got, that now you look good, you're more attractive, and they still can't probably put it, they're going to put it on like it's your external, like it's externally what's creating it. Like, you look healthy, you look like you've lost weight, or you look like you've gained weight, depending on which way they've viewed you before in your prior state. now they're going to see that you look full and healthy, right? They're going to look at you like you're full of energy, that you have something to offer. And the offering that you're giving them are small little tips here and there. If you've been following us, you know it's only the small things that you need to do, and just start compounding them over and over once you get used to one. Once you do that, man, all of a sudden, nobody's going to see it. Nobody's going to see it till you show them, you show up and you get into state, and you radiate that confidence and energy, and you make that choice next to somebody who's hesitant. Boom. Like, you are now changing not just your life, their life. So much so that you may go on a journey together as an accountability partner. And then boom, you start spreading this through your family, right? Because that's what happens. So state management, I know I keep saying it, but it's super powerful. It makes the biggest difference in your life. All right. At this point, look at this. I got something on YouTube saying you can now add up to 3 guests to your broadcast. Okay, I never knew that there was a limit to. I thought you could just pull up as many people as you wanted. Okay, but I have no viewers right now, so that's fine. At this point, though, if you're on YouTube or Facebook and you want to chat a comment for open Q&A, go ahead and do that. If not, I'm going to roll into, while you do that, I'm going to roll into community news, okay? So community news is this. The self-assessment is gone. In this month, September 30th, mark it in your calendars. I'm going to have something very soon. The 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are going to have the challenge. It's going to be a 1-day challenge, not 4 days, and it's going to be an hour and a half. And I'm going to show you all the secrets to the key to the Busy Parent Transformation System. I'm going to give you the 3 secrets. I'm going to give you stuff that you can take that day in that challenge and change your life forever. You think state management was powerful? I have much, much more to give you in order to take you to that next level, to your health and fitness. And I'm going to give it all to you right there in that challenge, those three secrets that will get you like where you need to be. Go to that. I'll change your life on health and fitness. Promise you that. As long as you take action. A lot of things are action. Actually, that takes me to my point. Actually, I need a reverse because I want to leave you with an action item. Your action item is this. I want you to practice different states. Get into different states for different situations. Right now, I just want you to go out there and try doing a state altercation, or put yourself in a state for making a healthy choice, whether it's to exercise or not to exercise, or to eat or not to eat something. I need to get myself into state here and energy. I'm starting to, So I want you to do that. I want you to get into a state, or choose a state, go through the 5 steps that I outlined, and get yourself in a moment where you can get pumped up for that time that you need to do it. And maybe it's just clenching your fist, going through the visualization. Practice. The more you practice it, the more you get it ingrained in you, the better you will be at actually succeeding at getting into state in those situations. And it will just be anchored in a way that it just happens, right? You won't even think about it. It will just happen. You'll be like, yes, I got this. Just like that. Boom. Yes, I got this. You're more confident, right? So that's your action item. So there's no more self-assessment because we are doing the challenge this month at the end of the month. So I will have a link and everything out there. It is free. It's free, just to let you know. So please join that. Our August event is now extending into September. I'm extending it because we're not doing an event in September as we prepare for the challenge coming up. Really working hard to do that. Other than that, if you're on YouTube, you will see me live probably in a few moments. I try to do it around 2:00 p.m. I call it the inside. And what the inside is, I do this content, I come prepared, right? And I'm ready to go with my message. And so I make things look really, well, as best as I can. I'm trying to get better and better professionally, making things look better and work better. But I'm usually prepared, ready to go with a story or whatever to kind of drill what's in my mind or to put out there what's on my mind. But on the inside, I'm opening it up to being vulnerable because I don't know what's going to happen. I kind of go through my day. As I proceed, things happen when it comes to health and fitness, and I want you to see imperfections. I want you to see how I stumble. I want you to see how I make decisions, how I do research, how I go about doing things. So I'm calling it the inside so that you can see like things aren't perfect. I do make decisions that people wouldn't say would be the best decisions. Sometimes I'm out of state and I'm weak, and I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to show you live going to websites and doing research. Yesterday we did a thing on how I did research on exercises called LIT. Prior to that, just doing research generally. Today, I think I'm going to jump into just seeing what's out there on for articles for health and fitness. So these things I'm going to try to do Monday through Friday, maybe even Saturday and Sunday. I think Saturday and Sunday is even more interesting because this Saturday, actually, I do have a birthday to go to. And although I don't want to video record my family, that would be kind of weird for them to be like, so I'm at a function, right? And being like, okay, here comes somebody right now. And they're about to have a conversation. I can see it in their eyes about whether they're going to eat this cake or this bagel or whatever, these chips. All right, now watch how I do this. Okay, watch. I'm going to get into state. Boom. Here they come. Stealth mode. They go into their conversation, right? I don't want to be doing that because then they're going to be like, is that guy okay? They'll probably already think I'm a loony person just to take it to the next level with talking to myself like this hey, yep. Subject is approaching the cake. We have the subject approaching the cake, and we're about to engage in conversation. Okay, ready to go. Let's do this. So I'll probably do like a recap after a live recap at some point. So I do this on YouTube, so you can watch it on live as I do it, the research, and I'm also broadcasting it on Wisdom, which is a cool app. It's an audio app, so just to put it out there, I kind of like that app, or I do like that app, and so I want to share that with the audience as well. So if you want to get the inside look as to like how I approach things, how I look at things, this is the way to do it, and how I do it at least. And then you're gonna see like how I resist things, how I resonate with things, and it's just very interesting because you'll see me pause, you'll see me like think, you'll see me, it's live, so that you get the basics of what you're going to do for your research, your development, or you can just jump in with me and participate there, and it's live, so you can jump up and say hi, give me your 2 cents on the subject. It's just like very open. So that's something new I've been doing. And very soon I'm going to get back to the 5-minute break for your workday on our podcast. I just haven't done it yet. So just trying to get ready for the challenge that's coming up. So that's the community news. That's what we've got going on. Just to let you know, I do this every Friday, the Exercise Lounge. Again, this is for accountability, whatever you want to make it, a topic you want to talk about. This is just for you to get us together and just have a free way of talking with each other and letting you get some Q&A in there. Give us some of your perspectives. I'm not an expert in everything. I take what I read, and you'll see it on the inside. I'll take whatever I get, and it's through my filter, my belief systems that I'm challenging, through my experiences. When you see it, you're going to resonate. Sometimes you're going to even resist some of the things that I'm talking about. But showing you the format, the way I approach things, the way I go about it, should be very helpful for you so that you can go through there, or you can just learn through what I'm doing live on there. But Monday, so that's the insides Monday through Friday. Fridays, I'm here doing the Exercise Lounge at 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern. Go to Monday, I'm on Instagram, 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern, Exercise Lounge. Next Tuesday, I'm on Tuesday, I'm on Wisdom, 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern. On Wednesday, Clubhouse and Twitch, 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern. Thursdays, TikTok and Twitter Spaces, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. That will be switching in the next, I think, 3 weeks. I'll be done my course that I'm taking on Wednesdays, and then I'll switch it to 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern. Sound good? And then back here on Fridays, 12 to 1. And again, at 2 o'clock, around 2 p.m., I'll be doing what I'm calling the Inside, so that you can check out what we're doing there live as well. I really love lives. I prefer it over content creation because I get the chance. I look forward to someone popping up here because to interact with people is really cool, and I like to talk, so long version really works for me. I will probably at some point get somebody to chop up what I say into smaller things that's digestible. But starting next week, I'll probably start producing more shorter content. It's just very, I really like to get into things. And so, especially when people jump on board and interact with me. So, yeah, love the lives, love doing lives. That's why I go live almost every single day. Probably even Saturday, Sunday, I'll probably do something, podcast or something. I like podcasts because, or live talking, whether it be Clubhouse, Twitter, or Wisdom, because they allow me to be anywhere and not have to set up and make sure that things, the video's working, audio's working. I just can click on my phone and be like, hey, everybody, how's it going? And I keep talking, right? You can see I have a hard time stop talking. But anyways, there we go. So if I don't see you, I will see you next week here. Have a wonderful weekend. Keep pushing out there. Keep doing the thing. And please, do state management. State management is so important. Take it with you. It's the master tool that will change the rest of your life in all things, not just health and fitness. All right. Hope this was really enjoyable, and I'll catch you next time. Have a good one, everybody.